It's pretty clear at this point that the global warming cult is going to force us all to drive electric vehicles probably soon. And that means the people who've invested in these, Joe Biden's friends, are going to get really, really rich. But what does it mean for the rest of us? Electric cars and trucks. Well, for people who live in cities, it's probably not a big deal. If you're a 26-year-old marketing major who went to Wesleyan, working in Midtown, and your longest commute in a car is from Chelsea to the West Village for dinner, not a problem for you. But what if you're a man with a real job who lives outside a city? What if you use a truck to work? What happens to you? Well, Elon Musk has just come out with the Cybertruck. You've probably seen images of it on the internet or maybe seen one on the street. We thought, what is this? Well, it's clearly the future or part of the future. So we called Elon and said, hey, will you send us a Cybertruck to review? We're in a very rural area with people who use trucks for a living. Let's see what it's like. So this is the truck that I drove this morning. This is the truck I drive. It's a 1987 Chevrolet Silverado, conventional cab, 5 forward speeds, some kind of aftermarket seats, the seat belt a dog has chewed, and it works pretty well. It's got a bed, looks like a pickup truck. There are no electronics in this. There's no air conditioning, there's no radio, and there's no way for the government to turn off my engine if I'm disobedient. So that's what I drive. I like it. That is a Cybertruck. Now, I'd open up the door to the Cybertruck, but I have no idea how. That is purely electronic, and that's what we're going to review. And to review it for us, we're going to talk to Patrick Feeney. We're on his farm in western Maine, in a very rural part of Maine. He is very familiar with heavy machinery. He was a diesel mechanic in the Army right out of high school in the first Gulf War. He was a logger running skidders. He was a long-haul trucker running 18-wheelers. So he's been in machines all his life. He's fixed machines. He understands machines. We're standing in front of his sawmill here on his farm where he cuts out wood, and we've given him use of the Cybertruck, or Elon has, for the last couple of weeks. And we're going to ask him a really simple question. Could you replace the truck that you drive, which is a Ford F-350, with the Cybertruck? We're going to go inside his sawmill and meet Patrick Feeney. Patrick Feeney, like your shirt.
Thank you, sir.
So you've had the Cybertruck for a couple weeks.
Had it, well, actually, technically since Monday.
Monday.
Right, 1 week.
And today is Friday.
Right.
So you've had a week of the Cybertruck, and the question is, and you're going to have a lot more time to assess it, could it replace your F-350?
So far, yes.
Really?
Mechanically.
Mechanically?
Mechanically, it's got all kinds of power. Of course, it's a $100,000 truck.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're going to not think about that right now.
Okay.
Because there's all kinds of carpenters at the local lumber yard with $100,000 trucks. I see them there every day.
Yep.
So that's not too much of a stretch, I don't believe. But as far as go power, I'll show you. Towing power, ease of use. It's just like when you rent a car and you can spend the 5 minutes figuring out all the buttons.
Yeah.
It's basically that easy.
Is it really?
That easy.
Okay, so let's just go through things that you do, and I happen to know because I know you, roughly what you do. I don't know everything you do during the course of the day. But I know.
Not when I go home for lunch.
No, you go home for lunch. We live, by the way, we're standing in a place right now that is so untouched by the worst parts of modernity and so rural that people, is it fair to say, go home for lunch?
Yeah, most of the time. Or
Yep.
we just don't eat lunch and go home at like 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
Work right through
That's
it,
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take the Cybertruck and do some of the things that you would do with your Ford on a normal day. By the way, I love your sawmill.
Oh, thank you.
Could
It's a
you?
work in progress. Yeah, the Ford, for a rural man, this is every rural man. I'm a one-truck guy. A lot of people have a work truck and a going-to-church truck.
Yep.
I like the one-truck theory. It's just me and my wife. She has a truck now. I just bought her a new truck. I work out of my truck. I nap in my truck. I hunt out of my truck. I tow with my truck. I do all my stuff is in my truck. Everything I need is there. So it's like a Swiss Army knife of machinery. It's really, I plow with it. I plow snow, which is a huge thing, and we're gonna worry about that later with the Cybertruck, whether you can plow snow with it or not. But we basically need one vehicle that does everything.
So one of the things that you do, I know because I see you, is you take your dogs in the truck.
Yep.
Your beagles for rabbit hunting, your spaniel for bird hunting, and they kind of live in your truck also.
Right.
Have the dogs been in the truck?
Oh yeah, they love it. I don't think they think it's looking or anything like that.
Okay, good. Well, and you would know, because if dogs think
Right.
that, you can tell.
Right.
All right, well, let's test it out.
All right, we're gonna haul some dirt today.
Watching you operate a machine it's like watching Barry Bonds play baseball. It's like crazy.
Well, been doing it since I
No,
was...
but you're into it. A lot of people have done it a long time, but you're into it. You're good at it. Will you explain what these two things are?
This was my father's grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, I believe. It's a spud for peeling
Bark spud.
bark, made out of an axle, I was told, like from a Model A truck. Or they saved the axles out of the old trucks. They still scavenge them through the woods. Very good steel in the old axles, very high quality steel.
So you use that to take the bark off?
Yeah, I use it to clean the log off when it's got dirt on it, and the bark peels really good on a hot day like today. The bark kind of just falls
What's
off.
this called?
This is called a cant dog.
A cant dog.
So you take, there's not a round log here, but you can use it on a square one. So you put that on the log and you roll it. And this is how, before I had this mill, I had a manual push mill for many years, and I used to roll every log by hand.
How old is that tool?
This was my same thing. This came from my father's family out of Saco, Maine. And I don't have it with me right here. I have his scaling stick, and he worked at the lumber yard.
I should say, by the way, you built this.
Yeah.
I remember when you built it yourself with no help. For people who aren't in the logging or wood business, don't work at a turning mill, what's scaling?
Scaling is the log. Okay, this right here, these are 2x6s. 2, 3, go down. Imagine that being round, okay? So you've got the waist of the log as a slab. After you take a round log, you make it square.
Yep.
So the scale figures out how many boards are in that without the waist, basically.
Okay.
And it figures it out the kerf of the saw. Now logs now are...
And the kerf, just for people who don't know, the kerf is the wood that the saw takes out.
the amount of sawdust.
Yep.
Okay, kerf is basically the amount of sawdust. As far as the kerf goes, see, these are very thin blades. Even big mills use thin blades now. You're getting basically every 5 boards, you're getting a free board with a thinner blade. But they're still paying the logger and the landowner on the 1/4 inch kerf. So they're really screwing on that part of it.
I don't think most Americans know that the landowner is only getting paid on a 1/4 inch kerf.
Right. I mean, that's a big deal when you've got, say when you're building a house and you're trying to figure, is it worth it to buy a sawmill? Okay, I've got some land here, I've got some pine on it. Do I cut that pine, just sell it to the mill, get $10,000, go to Home Depot and buy the lumber? Or do I mill that out? Well, there's a lot to figure. You got to figure you got to pay the taxes on the wood when you sell it to the lumber mill. You got to pay taxes on the lumber when you buy it from Home Depot. So that's 2 taxes you're saving by sawing your own wood. And also, if you build your own projects, you're not working. You're not making any money, right? So you're not able to have a job while you're building a house. And I do everything nights and weekends and still work because I'm different, but. You got to pay your income tax on that labor while you're building your house. So you're working for Google while you're paying somebody else to build your house. Not only are you paying the taxes on all that other stuff, you're paying your income tax while you're paying the other guy. There's another tax added in there. So yeah. I think self-sufficiency is, if you do the math, it, depends on what's important to you in life, but I don't like paying taxes.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get in your truck.
Push the button.
Which button?
White button.
Oh. What is this shit?
I probably don't want to wear my sunglasses. That's not very professional.
Oh.
9mm.
Oh, guns! Wait, I got it. Sorry. Okay, I don't want to be pedantic or anything, but this is how this area is different from other parts of the country. So you just, what is this here?
2 9mm.
2 9mm and the mags. All right, that's what was in the truck.
Lots of ammo.
Is that in your electric vehicle? Is it? As you commute to Midtown for your marketing job, do you have that in your electric vehicle? I don't think you do.
We're gonna go 117 miles an hour with 13,000 pounds of dirt in the back. How's that?
Please don't kill my brother.
Towing, hauling. There's a tow mode on this. Very easy to. I mean, trailer brake. These trailer brakes worn right down, so I've got it on 10, which means it applies more force to the trailer.
So I know this is high tech because I'm wearing a seatbelt. And how much are we towing?
Probably 11,000, probably 12,000 pounds
Of dirt.
of dirt. No, total weight, trailer
Total
and
weight.
dirt.
Now, when it says farm stand ahead,
That's my wife.
That's your farm stand.
That's my farm. Well, my wife's farm stand, and there's Campwood. Very smooth acceleration, 30 miles an hour. Oh yeah, this thing's. Look at. My Ford would be towing this fine. My Ford is great. I love it. This is just towing it like a. It's like it's not even there.
Seriously.
No wobble. Look at that. So I'm going 70 with that trailer. Look at the dirt blow out of the back of it.
Wow. So how would you compare that? You've got an F-350, right?
Yeah, this is F-350 is great. This is just smooth. It's electric motor. There's no transmission, direct drive. You know, there's no. The only weakness I've thought vehicles should be trains are electric. They're smooth. You know, they run on big diesel motors, but they're electric.
But the diesel motor is a generator.
Is a generator. That's all it is. So this has a huge battery underneath. Now, range capacity. Without doing any fancy math, I've got a way to figure it out without actually driving 300 miles because I don't have time for that. But so I go by percentages drop. Your range when you're towing goes from 300 miles to about 100 miles, which is probably not acceptable for a heavy day of towing.
Right.
You had 3 dump runs to make with debris, like Sherwood and I often do, like when they tore apart the house.
Yeah.
You know, we did 3 or 4 dump runs a day. We would probably run out of juice. But it's local stuff, so it's your lifestyle. It's where you work. For me, so far, I've got an everyday driving range of me really pushing on the gas pedal, making short trips. Of course, it's a new vehicle. I like to go fast, so I'm burning more. It's energy, whether it's gas or electricity, it's still burning it.
Yeah.
I'm getting about 200 miles, 220 miles for around town driving. So that's acceptable for everyday driving. And it charges overnight. If I plug it in when I get home for supper, I wake up in the morning, it's fully charged. On my math so far, it comes out, this gets about 15 miles to the gallon, cost-wise. So it would be, cost-wise, gas-wise, it would be equal to driving a truck that's 15 miles to the gallon. That's just my cocktail napkin.
Was that your house?
Fuck off, crackhead. You remember that guy.
So that house.
The neighbor bought it.
No way.
Yeah, I kicked him out because they started encroaching on the other guy's
So this
land.
is rural America, so drugs are a real problem, of course. And that house was a drug house for how long? How many years?
Oh, since I've been here.
Well, they had an overturned car right outside the front door that had "fuck off" spray painted on it.
And there was a sign that says, "This is not the front door. Like, get your drugs in the
It's
back."
still there.
Right. I don't know if you've ever ridden in a vehicle towing a trailer like this, but do you even know there's a trailer behind us?
Well, I've ridden in many vehicles. I
I
remember
mean, with a heavy trailer.
No, but I remember on East Bee Hill Road coming back from fishing in Bagog years ago, and I'm not going to name names, but the driver was at the very end of a 30-pack. And I remember coming over a rise in East Bee Hill Road, and we caught air in the truck with the trailer. I don't get scared in vehicles, but I was nervous. I'll never forget that.
I have it on chill mode, not heavy acceleration. And did you feel that? I mean,
That's
pretty
crazy.
impressive. So there's no doubt about it, this thing will tow. So some of these tests, like the last test I watched on the YouTube was, you know, going to Napa Valley wine tasting for the weekend. You know?
Was it seriously?
That was the test. And then I watched the guy did a nice towing test. He's the guy where I got the 100-mile thing from, and for my math, it's matching up with his math pretty good. You know, he tested it at 30 degrees. In Maine, 30 degrees is a warm day.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to test this thing at 20 below.
For sure.
You've been to Maine in the winter with me at 20 below. Things don't work at 20 below. Not that I'm going to be towing anything
Well, a
at 20
diesel
below.
engine has trouble starting at 30 below.
Yeah, you got to
So
plug them in at night.
Yeah, so what's
Right.
this going to do?
Right. The battery life is what just so you know, your drill. Leave your cordless drill.
I
in
was
your
about
truck
to say
overnight.
that's
it's
true.
dead in the morning.
That's true for all batteries.
In the summertime, you charge your drill, and you don't have to charge it all summer.
It just goes forever. I agree.
One night in the below zero, and it's dead.
I want to ask you more about this, but since you live here and you've been here your whole life and know everybody, and you've been driving, you know, Ford truck for decades, and all of a sudden you show up in this spaceship, what kind of reaction are you getting?
I gotta get that fucking piece of shit out of here. I've gotten at the chainsaw shop, they really wouldn't even look out the window. They didn't even want to acknowledge that I was there. Some people call me a One guy at the dump said, "Don't fucking park that thing next to me. It's gonna catch on fire." Most guys that are into trucks,
Yeah.
my friend Opie last night, we went to Mr. Pizza. We drove all the way up there, beautiful drive in this. We were going 117 miles an hour.
You went to Mr. Pizza in this?
Yes, last night, Gorham.
Wait, the famous Mr. Pizza in Gorham,
Yeah,
New Hampshire?
Yes. And we stopped and visited my friend Opie. I let him drive it. Opie has a drag racing car, Pontiac Trans Am, I believe, or something like that. And he drove it, and he was like, "It's outdoing my drag car already." I mean, motor people are amazed. When we talked to Sherwood is an old gearhead, motorhead from the 70s, total motorhead, and he thinks it's great. People that understand mechanics,
Yep.
it's just, some people are like, I don't know, they're just scared of new things. People might not know this. The air conditioning and cooling and heating and electricity you get off of gasoline-powered vehicles almost free because the motor's spinning anyway.
Right.
So you're going down the road, it's not like you're running the motor's spinning, you hook up a little air compressor for your air conditioner to it. Yeah, it draws a little bit of power off your motor, but big deal. Not much power. Your electricity is drawn off the alternator, which charges your car battery. The it's spinning. Your heat is actual helping the vehicle, because when you run your heater, it's taking heat away from the engine. So it's all free. It's basically free heat. This thing here, you have to use battery power to heat for air conditioning. Right. So when you're running the air conditioner, the battery goes down faster.
So, I mean, this and AI, a lot of different...
This uses a lot of energy.
That's what I'm saying.
Huge amount of energy.
All these technologies raise the question, like, how are we generating electricity?
Right. Where's the power going to come from?
Yeah,
okay, think of I'm not a city guy, but I've been to many cities. Think of the parking meters in a city. Okay, down the road, parking meter. A 220 or a, 75 amp 220 plug at every parking meter.
Yeah.
To plug your car into. Just fathom that on the electric grid.
Yeah.
In a city.
Think
of a parking garage. When you're at a parking garage, they show images of plug-ins at every parking spot in the parking garage. Thousands of cars plugged in at the same time.
Who's going to build all that?
Yeah. Where's the juice going to come from? Electricity is so great. Yeah. Why aren't we embracing it? Why aren't we saying, wow, we should make our grid huge. I should have three-phase power at my sawmill, and I don't. Yeah. CMP guy said, "You'll never have three-phase power out here in your lifetime." I'd love to have I'd love to get rid of that gas motor on my sawmill and run a wire and run it off electricity, but I can't.
Yeah. I know.
So we need to fix our electric grid. We got to get it. I'm not an engineer at all, but 8th grade math tells you we need to fix this.
So tell us where we're going?
We're going to the Rabbit Road.
What's the Rabbit Road?
You've been there. It's
I know I've been there, but not everyone.
It's a little road. It's called the Rabbit Road because it's a shortcut. We go there rabbit hunting, ironically. Is ironic the right word to use?
I'm not sure. It's good enough.
But yeah, we use, it's just a little shortcut road, dirt road. All the townies go out there and go wheeling and hunting and four-wheeling. It's just a rural dirt road. I mean, we're in rural Maine. We could go up this road, we could go to the Rabbit Road, we could go anywhere and just find a dirt road to drive down. It's getting harder and harder though, as you know. More gates.
Yeah.
More big companies buying land and shutting it down that in theory should be open to the public, because those companies really never paid any taxes their whole existence.
I know.
I don't know, that's a whole other thing to get into, but.
So there's water on the Rabbit Road?
We should be able to find water. It's been raining for a month, so.
Good.
We'll probably find too much water.
Okay, well, let's see how it does.
Okay, so we get the fasten seatbelt mode. It will not let you go into hyper warp speed without your seatbelt on.
So I just want to say I object to that.
Okay, you get in. Here's your key. Very simple, just like a hotel room. I think a lot of cars actually do this now. There's your key, put it there, put on the brake, slide it into drive. That's all the Russian guy that delivered it that spoke zero English showed me. I figured everything else out on my own. And then reverse is foot on the brake, slide that for reverse. And press that little car button, and you've got your controls. Ride height, I've got it on, let's put it on medium. Headlights are on automatic, like most people do, which I think is a total detrimental to society that they even make automatic headlights.
Why's that?
If you're not smart enough to turn your headlights on at night without your car doing it for you, you shouldn't be driving.
I think that's fair.
And it makes you not think of everything like that that's automated for us, takes muscle out of your brain.
I think that's
We
right.
have enough trouble anyway.
That's why I like driving a stick shift, because it wakes you up.
Yeah, you
Engages
gotta engage it, and it makes you think about how things work.
Yep.
I'm not gonna get tied up in stuff on this that I don't use. I never use navigation. Service, owner's manual.
Well, you skipped right over safety.
Safety. Yeah, we don't need that. Wi-Fi, don't care about that. Bluetooth, I do care about that. My phone is hooked up.
Can I put mine on?
No, mine's got better music.
It's better music than mine?
Yep. Okay, so we got it in comfort mode. That's where I drive it to town. Because if I put it in fast mode, I get in trouble. Now watch this. A little bit of a difference.
Damn!
That's pretty fast.
Well, actually, my head
Your
hit
cheeks go like this. Okay, here's a jump right here. Ready?
Shout.
Nope, didn't get it. Too heavy. Won't jump. My truck would have been off the ground right there. Probably why I'm not getting good gas mileage. You think that has anything to do? You just can't stop yourself. It's like your first V8 pickup truck. You just burn the tires off it because it's so fun.
Yeah. It's an entire package of Oreos and no one around.
Because of the rural areas, and I do this with rental cars, and my wife's new truck, I'll have to do it. I turn all the warnings off because they don't work in rural areas with the rocks and the... Like, if you have it all on, you can't drive through a grassy field because the grass is setting the sensor off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just have to turn all that shit off. I don't believe in all that shit. Oh, the steering wheel. Oh yeah, that was the whole point of this conversation. Very good. It's flat. I can't, you know, can't drive with your knee. That's a big thing I always try, you know. You got to be able to drive with your knee, and you can't with this. But other than that, I like it.
Can't drive with your knee?
No, look, see, because it's only half, so I can't. You know, you can't. I drive with my knee all the time when I'm doing stuff.
Well, how can you crack a beer with one hand?
That's what I mean. You can't roll a joint with
Yeah.
like that. So instead of turning the wheel around and around and around, it's hydraulic, so you can do it. You just turn it a little bit and it goes all the way because you'd be cranking the wheel all the way. See, I'm only turning that wheel a little bit, and it's got rear wheel steering. So when you turn the rear wheel steer too, so it just corners like a dream. And when we were towing that trailer, you guys, it just towing the trailer, it just corners like a dream. Oh, here's a little straightaway. I don't want to do it now. There's been baby ducks up here. If the Cybertruck ran over the flock of baby ducks, it probably would be on the citizen. Be like the Hummer, right?
It would.
It's kind of an obnoxious vehicle that way. Like, people look at you like, it's like embarrassed. It's like when you wear a suit out to a place where nobody wears a suit. You're like, everybody looks at you, you know.
Do you see any downsides to it?
Oh, me? The range. Getting parts for it. I mean, look at that windshield wiper. You want to go to Napper and see if they have one? I have been down this road about 1,000 million times in my life. When I was a kid, you could drive. When I lived in the other side of Bethel, you could drive through this and come out on the other side.
Whose house is that?
I don't know. I've known people that have owned it, but I don't know who owns it. I don't pay much. So many people moved up here and everything changed hands. And I'm not going to keep track of what guy from Connecticut bought what house. I have zero interest in that. But this was an apple orchard, and he owned all these houses.
Your GPS is wrong. No through traffic.
I've pulled people off the snowmobile trail out here with the GPS, and it happens like 5 times a week. That little road goes down to the mill. There's a gate that goes up on the mountain. This is the actual Rabbit Road. Looks like there's been some people out here. We are gonna stop and do some adjusting here. We're just gonna go to off-road mode. Dynamics, off-road. We're up in the air now. Can you tell the difference?
Yep.
I mean, it's handling these bumps pretty good, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
it's capping me out at like 24 miles an hour, which is pretty fast on a road like this.
Oh, we're going 50.
Pretty capable vehicle.
Yeah.
No way you could do this in either one of our trucks and be anything left of it.
It would tear the truck up.
Yeah. We're gonna go through wade mode. Rises height, pressurizes battery when driving through water. Water levels not exceed top of bumper. Review owner's manual. May take up to 10 minutes to activate. Want to activate it? Let's activate it.
All right. Not bad.
It's like it's not even. My truck would have been.
Me too.
Didn't even friggin' flinch going through that. It didn't even rock or anything. Well, that went through the water pretty good.
Think we'll make it?
I think so. We went through that water no problem.
That road's pretty bad, actually.
I think we're gonna make it. Watch this. Like my four-wheeler would have struggled more on that. This thing is pretty good. This is the beast. It goes great. This thing excels in the off-road. We just got it in sport mode now. We're like on a Subaru road, so we don't need.
We're back on the Subaru road. Are the roads here rated Subaru roads?
Subarus are, well, when I was growing up, Subaru was like the gold standard of what everybody
remember.
drove in Maine.
Yeah.
They lasted 5 years. They rusted out, but they were cheap. Everybody bought them. That was the soccer mom vehicle, I guess, is what you'd say.
Even though there was no soccer.
Right. So we are coming on we came off the highway coming into town. We hit the Rabbit Road. We're on the other end of the Rabbit Road. Pretty amazing that we made it through. This is the road I grew up on. This road that we just did is basically the road I grew up on. This is where I came to play from age whatever. This was my playground for 30 years. As you can imagine, it was pretty fun. I could hop on my four-wheeler, come down here, hunt on the Rabbit Road right off my four-wheeler. Didn't even need a pickup truck.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, snowmobile.
Whose farm was that?
It's been changed hands a million times. It was pretty much abandoned when I was young.
Why would they put a brick fireplace in a barn?
I think it's one of those, I live in Vermont and I'm gay and I'm getting married in a barn type places.
Yeah.
So now we're on Route 35.
It's one of those, I live in Vermont, I'm gay, I'm getting married in a barn type places.
Yeah, might be, I don't know.
Yeah.
So my grandfather's land at one time, I actually at one time owned the land on the right, down in here, the swamp. I got that when I was in high school. My grandfather gave me the swamp.
He gave you the swamp.
There was a store there when I was a little kid, because Bethel was a dry town. This is the town line, so entering Bethel. So my land started at one time from there and went that way. This is Paradise Road. This was all my grandfather's land, all the way from here up to the top of the hill. It's all houses now, but these houses are all new. My Uncle David owned this land and sold it. This is my old house right here. That's the first house I built. See it up in there? Wood siding,
pretty
and a
house.
red roof. Yeah. I didn't build that garage. The guy that bought it from me built it. But I built that barn there. And then these are all new houses, all Flatlander houses. This is my grandfather's house. This is where my mother moved in 1950. So that barn was my grandfather's barn. That was the house. That's the house I grew up in. On my grandfather. This was all field. All of our garden was over here. This was all hay field.
How old's that house?
Old, like 1800s. But these are all new. Look at this house here. Modern. In the middle of Maine. Look at that. What is that?
What do you think it is?
I think it's a bulldozer target for me. Yeah. I mean, I just love this. That's a tasteful house. I mean, that's a nice house, right? This is a beautiful house. Margaret Tibbetts, the ambassador for, you ever heard of her? You know Margaret Tibbetts? That's where she lived. She had that house built. This was all her land. When she died, it went to her two nephews. She didn't have any kids, and one of the nephews owed IRS money. My father was the forester. They had to liquidate the lot to pay the nephew's back taxes.
Yeah, common.
So Obama clear cut that.
Obama clear cut that.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're this guy and there's a Cybertruck
coming up your ass. Hey, get him all nervous. Look at him. Oh shit. I'm going to visit Sherwood Jordan.
Who's Sherwood Jordan?
Sherwood's the guy. He's I've known Sherwood. Everybody's known Sherwood, and everybody knows who he is. He did some time in jail for what he calls, what is it he calls it? Intention to distribute marijuana. I don't really know what that means, but that's what he went. I don't think he knows what it means, but that's what they arrested him on. And so those people like Sherwood, who probably did 20 years of his life in jail, and now marijuana is legal, he must have a little bit of a sour bone. I don't know, maybe. Sherwood is very, very happy-go-lucky guy about everything. You don't see him I wouldn't want him mad at me, obviously, but honest. You know, he works for me when I'm helping doing stuff for you, and he's so honest. I was like, all right, Sherwood, you know, I'll put you down for 8 hours. Nope, I was only there for 7.5. You know, I was like, well, I'll take the extra half hour for gas money, you know, and he's just an honest man. I mean, he'd steal a U-Haul, but he's not gonna steal, you know, he's not gonna steal from you, you know. But he's a super honest, super nice guy. He's very capable. He's a survivor. He doesn't worry about the fine things. He only worries about functionality. In his form, he's the type of guy that can take stuff that you and I would, and your wife would not want on the front lawn, but when it's on his front lawn, it looks cool. You know, like an old gas grill and a kid's toy cart and everything just scattered everywhere. It's like art when it's sitting there. It's like,
Yep. Well, let me add to that's an amazing description, perfect description of Sherwood. And let me say, for the record, that he's one of my favorite people in the world. But I wanted him to see the Cybertruck because, which I'm sure you've already gone over there.
he drove it last night.
He drove it last
Oh, he's
night.
driven it, yeah.
But my impression is that Sherwood knows vehicles.
Oh yeah, Sherwood is a gearhead.
So the whole idea is to compare the Cybertruck, which is getting very high reviews so far, to the trucks that actual men with jobs use in a rural area every day. So this is Sherwood's truck. Sherwood, what is this truck?
Silverado.
It's a Silverado. Do you know what year it is?
Chevrolet. Yeah, I should. I got it registered to me.
Probably
Oh, I think it's about a 13.
13. All right. And you use this to haul stuff. Can you tell us what you have in the bed of your truck? And none of this is staged. We just got here.
Well, I used that paint last week, and I'm still going to use a couple of cans of the goods, so I haven't thrown it away. That's my chainsaw I use almost every single day.
This one.
Yeah,
It's a Husqvarna 372 XP. Okay.
the Grill of Dreams.
The Grill of Dreams.
Yeah,
That's the Grill of Dreams. All right. You've got a piece of pine.
that's a sign for a Jamaican restaurant that's going to open up pretty soon down in the South Paris area.
Yep.
He's going to stand it up and put his little thing down the side.
Okay. You got a gas can with a Poland Spring bottle in the end.
Wow, you use what you have.
You got a fishing rod. You got a weed whacker. You got looks like a marital aid.
Yeah, that's a exciter.
It's an exciter. Okay. Why do you keep that in the truck?
Oh, it's been with the truck.
Okay.
It used to be in the back, but I put this in, so instead of tossing it, I passed it forward and
Okay. Well, that makes total sense.
more gas.
You got an extension cord. All right.
I used to tie stuff up with the victims.
So this obviously is a working truck.
Yes. I used everything in it.
Do you think the Cybertruck could fill in for this?
Oh, I almost said hard on. I'm too rough on this truck. You wouldn't want to be that rough on the Cybertruck.
Why?
Damn it, it costs too much.
That's a good point. If you don't mind my asking, what did this truck cost?
Oh, about $3,000.
$3,000 as compared to $100,000 for the Cybertruck.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's a strong argument in favor of the Silverado.
Oh, I beat that every day like a red-headed stepchild.
I believe it. I can tell.
You know?
All right.
The inside's full too.
Can we see what's in the inside?
Oh yeah. It's astonishing.
Okay. You got tools.
More tools.
What's that? Oh, it's a piece of lead flashing. No? Oh. Got a fishing box, some electronics.
More tools,
Yep.
more tools, more shirts.
Does your dog like the truck?
Of course she does. Where'd she go? In the house? Over
Right
here?
there.
Hey, you going? Want to load up?
So, okay.
When are we going?
All right. Well, do you want to take the Cybertruck and take it down to the brook and see how it holds up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at this. That barn right there is one of the coolest buildings in the world. It is.
I put that all up by myself. I had help with the roofing finally.
That's a cool building. Do you like it?
The overhang and stuff all
Yeah,
over the place
it's
and all
ridiculous.
that. Oh, you haven't seen it since all the chainsaws hanging in the middle and the. Yeah, I really put a lot in there. I keep bringing it.
Come here, you little animal.
I don't know if I like it here or not.
I don't know if she's sold on the Cybertruck. You're not letting your dad drive, you little beast. Come here.
Whoop, that's backwards.
I think that's backwards.
Now I'm going forwards.
That is just one of the great barns in the world. That barn is a museum.
Totally.
It's incredible. Man, I've never been here in the summertime. It looks amazing.
Where'd you get down to the berries?
When was the last time you cut this?
I was in prison.
Oh, someone cut it while you were in prison?
Yeah, been like. It's been 15 years anyways.
Last time I was here, I was bird hunting here with my dogs. And I've never been more frustrated. I knew there were woodcock here. I could just tell.
Oh, it's the country.
It's loaded with woodcock. You could just feel it down by the brook.
Everybody's already up in the trees laughing at you.
They were laughing at me.
Oh, yeah.
They were laughing at me and my dogs. And I didn't see a single bird the whole morning I hunted here.
That's awful.
But I knew they were here.
Oh,
Yeah.
the tracks everywhere out here, everywhere.
And I knew there were trout in the brook, too. Well, I guess you sent me the picture the other day of the trout you caught.
We have,
Or
me and another guy went down through here and got like 5 in 100 yards.
brook trout?
Yep. They were tasty. So fresh they turned themselves over in the pan. They do. They curl up and flip. Yeah, this is like tropical now.
How's it handling?
Perfect.
Oh, this got wet, didn't it?
It floated the window box off.
No.
Yes.
How's it handle?
Like a dream.
So you like it, Mitzi?
It's like magic. It's like being part of the Jetsons.
Okay, so this is local construction technique. Used a chainsaw to put that window frame in.
The windows are out of your cottage.
Oh.
Yeah, I picked them out of I dumpster picked them. Chainsawed out a hole, measured it out, squared it out, chainsawed out a hole, stuck the window in there and put some screws in it.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to show us your barn?
Yeah, you could go in there. That's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. You guys
Yeah.
ready? Yeah. Okay. This barn actually is one of the coolest places I've ever been.
So how do you like the lineup?
Oh, I love it. These are my favorite. Well, I've seen you drive some of these.
Yeah, that one I think, the dump truck.
So, all right. Can you give us your verdict? What do you think of the truck?
I love it. I'm not sure I really want to own one.
How come? I think your dog agrees.
Yeah. You don't like it, do you, Bird?
Well, that pissed her off when I asked the question, didn't it?
I suppose I could get really used to it.
Yeah.
It drives and handles really good. It handles really, really good at over 100. It's well, so they tell me. No.
But what are the downsides?
I think I have to be careful where I go, or I'll drag the belly of it on something and
Yeah.
tear it open.
Yeah.
And if I get in a wreck with it, because I love to performance drive.
Yeah.
I drive sideways on everywhere I get a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Why don't they put studs in the tires and brace us on the ice?
Would you race this on the ice?
Oh, yeah.
You'd win.
I'd win.
It's heavy though for ice.
Oh, the ice is a foot and a half thick.
Yeah, you probably want to drive with the doors open though.
Put the window down anyways.
Yeah, I think
No.
so. I think you'd have trouble getting out of this if it went through the ice.
I bet I would. Better get out quick before the electronics fail.
Yeah.
Patrick's right. The giant hole in the earth from getting all this battery stuff out, it's right up here and just a few miles away.
Yeah.
If they cut the trees, you can see the spot from here.
Yeah.
There's going to be a giant hole in the earth.
Yeah. I
They
know.
take all that out of there.
I know.
The lithium crystals, Captain. Ah, she's getting hot. She's about to burn. You can't stop it.
No.
All the water in the world won't stop it. So
A lithium fire.
that's the bad part about it. You want one parked in the garage right beside your house, right beside your bedroom?
Not really.
Me either. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't know what else I have to do to this thing to shut it off.
I don't know. Let's ask Patrick. We better get out before the electronics fail.
Well, I think the planes will start falling out of the sky first.
That's probably right. This is a rural mystery. So here we have a partly disassembled 8-cylinder Chevrolet pickup truck, and there's a tractor. What year's that tractor, would you say?
64 or 5.
64 or 5 tractor in front of it. And it looks like they're meeting to talk, but what are these two vehicles doing next to each other?
This one here is yarding the motor and transmission out of that one.
What does it mean to yod something?
Well, I'm just hooking a chain on it and pulling it out.
Hooking a chain on it and pulling it out. So
Yarding it out of there.
You're lifting up this motor.
With that, everything's still hooked onto it.
I just want to illustrate that you know your way around engines, okay? So when you assess a Cybertruck, it's not as a virgin vehicle assessor.
No, I've looked it over before. This is completely unhooked. Might be balancing on the chain, yeah. Hanging from the chain now.
Is that an official vehicle tool?
Yes, it is.
What is that called? Is that metric?
Bent handle and all. It's called a used crowbar.
A used crowbar. Okay.
Yes.
Can I buy that at Napa?
No, you have to go to a barn sale. barn sale.
Okay, so we're gonna go see Sherwood's barn, which is famous in this region for being really a museum. This is honestly one of my favorite buildings in the world. What is that?
Diamond Rio dump truck, 50 something. You won't believe this. I bought that brand new. Look at it.
What is it?
Well, it was
Oh, it's a 4x4.
yeah, it was like $6,000 at the time.
You got a lot of stuff going on in here, though.
Oh, 1,000 projects. Somebody stole the motor right out of that.
Who stole it?
Oh, there it is laying on the floor.
Look at that. How many wood stoves do you say you have in here?
12, 15 maybe. In the midst of all this,
You got a flat screen TV. What kind of transmission is that right there?
4L80. This is the race transmission.
I've seen you drive this wagon.
Right.
Fast.
Yeah, fast.
Did you build this barn?
Yes, I did everything.
Do you remember when you built it?
Yeah. The first year I get out of prison.
You built it.
1950s style chainsaws. Oh,
What's that?
she
I
lays
like-
on the exhaust pipe of your Harley Davidson.
Oh, I love that.
If you cared to have one on there.
Oh, well, there's our Harley Davidson right there.
Yeah, my birth year Panhead, 52.
That's
you
a-
see me drive that?
Yeah, that's a 52.
Yeah. If you want to build your forge, here's some forge.
Oh,
blowers.
look at that. It's a blower for a...
Blower,
Blacksmith's forge.
yeah. all
How
that.
many blacksmith's forge blowers do you have?
4 or 5. There's another one out there in that other overhang, all set up.
There's an anvil, a blacksmith's anvil from 1912.
My father left most of this. It was a lot deeper. I've been weeding it out.
Did your father build this?
Yep. All except all these biker mags. Those are mine.
What year did your father build this, do you think?
The early 1970s.
Yep.
I was already gone. I went to college over in New York. I'm college educated. I know, horrible, isn't it? Scary.
Doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
What's
It
that
doesn't
carburetor
help
for?
anything. Thingamajiggy for a whatchamacallit.
Oh, it's a thingamajiggy for whatchamacallit.
And this is where we hang out and drink in the winter.
Oh, look at this. What kind of stove is that?
Ashley, I believe. Look at this. I made this my like first year out of high school, first year out of school.
That's beautiful.
What's another room?
What's back here? Ah, this is a workshop.
Yeah, this is the original camp. See the outline of the wall of the sink?
Yeah.
The sink splash.
Oh, people who lived here.
My grandparents used to come up from Portland and stay here.
So this was their camp.
Yep.
When?
Until the early mid-70s, Grandpa died. As I filled it with motorcycle parts back there and
That's a cool saw holder right there.
saw collection. The more screws in a saw, the better the saw. If you got a saw that you only have 3 screws in it,
Yeah.
the steel's no good.
Yep. That's a rip saw.
Yeah, this one, just a talker.
That's a cool vehicle.
Yeah, it's got a Vortec 350.
Vortec 350.
Vortec, yep.
Is it pretty quick?
Yeah, it's really quick. 4-speed bucket seats.
This is pretty great.
Seats are all worn. Is like 10,000 farts been had in that seat.
Yeah, at least.
That's how, oh yeah, that's how bashed up it is.
Sherwood Enterprises. Is that you?
No.
Well, thank you for showing us this. I've always loved this building. Sorry, I couldn't help but notice you got a parking meter.
Yeah. Chevrolet parking only.
But that's an actual parking meter.
Yeah, it is an actual parking
Can I ask
meter.
you where you got that?
There used to be parking meters in downtown Norway,
Yeah.
and they were removed. And they stored them, and a friend of mine ran the storage thing and said, "Hey, you want one of those?" And I said, "Sure, why not?"
I agree.
Give it to me. Oh, out back, you may want to,
What is that?
it's a brush hog called the turtle. See the turtle head on the front?
Yeah.
It's a cute little one owner. May be interested in having something like this around the homestead. Keep the bushes down.
Since you have the tools, would you ever want to work on the Cybertruck?
It doesn't interest me.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Maybe we get the Sawzall and see what's underneath it. You want to?
You'd love to. Just driving it around is cool. Still, I don't know if I had the money, if I really actually wanted one.
Yeah.
Right. If I could mount a plow on it, that'd be way different.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I drive over enough stuff and puncture the battery,
Yeah.
and Armageddon.
Yeah.
Armageddon out of this thing, it's gonna burn.
Thank you, Sherwood.
Okay, that's all right.
I appreciate your assessment.
Yeah. Like I said, if the big giant hole in the earth they're going to have to dig to make all those batteries,
Yeah.
what are you going to do with that big giant hole? Great Lakes are going to flood into it.
Yep.
That's all going to be dangerous. You can't touch it, can't get near it, right?
Yep.
Hazardous waste.
Yeah.
Chuck it all back in that big giant hole you made in the earth.
Fair. How do you put out a fire if one of these catches fire? How do you put it out?
You stand back. Smoke them if you got them.
But how do you put it out?
Yeah, that's it. Just stand back, get out of the way. You can't put it out with water, you can't put it out with foam.
So you just enjoy it.
And probably call the insurance company.
Yeah. Would you put one in your garage?
No. You wouldn't put one in yours. I'm not putting one in mine. No.
All right, so where are we going from here to?
For here to,
Where
we're
that-
gonna do a timer till we get going. Let's do a timer to 60 and do a timer to 100. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. $60.
Wow.
100.
That's amazing.
Okay, ready?
All right, 114.
Without even, no hands on the wheels. That's pretty good. Do they actually give us a ticket when they see that on TV? Can they go back?
I don't think a Cybertruck can get a ticket.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's really impressive.
Man, this thing handles so great around corners. Holy shit, look at this. You don't do that in a regular car at all.
Nope. Nope. You
This
wouldn't
is
want to do
This
that.
friggin' thing is amazing.
The red steel roofing fades, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like dog dink pink after a couple of years.
Dog dink pink. What is that? An official Sherwin-Williams
Yes,
color?
it is on the chart. Yeah.
Dog dink pink.
All right, Tucker, we're in a gravel pit. This is a first for me in this vehicle, obviously.
Now, for people who are not familiar with gravel pits, Patrick, what is the point of a gravel pit?
It's just you extract. They sell the gravel to build road widths. They screen it for. That's probably screen gravel for winter sand to sand the road with in the winter. They're good places to have party and drink beer and break bottles and shoot
Yep.
things. And they're probably the number one purpose is.
They are
shooting things.
impromptu shooting ranges. And every road in Maine, if it's long enough, has a gravel pit off of it.
Yes, definitely. And if you've got land with gravel, it's you can sell the gravel if you want to and make a little bit of money. I don't think it's
Emphasis on the little.
We're gonna test this truck out. You can come drive it if you want to. It's fucking fast. We're just gonna go down there and try to do a couple donuts. He said it was all right.
We're going to fuck up your gravel pit. Is that okay?
You're smoothing out the ruts when we get done?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
How many highway miles do you get out of a charger? I want the record to reflect you're dead sober right now, right?
Yep. Pretty good donuts.
Not
Almost
bad.
smooth.
Yeah.
See what it does in the water. Pretty impressive.
Not bad,
Not
actually.
bad. Let's try it with the steering off. And we'll get Jared. I think the traction control is still on.
Yeah, you're tearing it up.
Yeah, this is not really doing donuts, but
Have you told Rick about this?
yeah. No, I told him we were gonna tear it up. All right, let's go this way in the water.
The guy who runs the crushing machine is standing on top of his truck like, what the fuck?
It's not even a challenge at this
No,
thing.
it's really not.
It's like not even fun. I mean, it is fun. Don't get me wrong. This thing's crazy. What happened? Oh, the anti-traction control is crazy. Oh, that was fun.
That was awesome. Well, you made quite a mess. Look at that.
I think we should buy Savage a 30-pack of beer, don't you?
I definitely
Or give
think
this guy
so.
$100. Let's do that.
But you know who loved it? Was the man who runs the crusher. Look, he's still on top of the machine looking at us.
So
What the fuck?
this was crazy. I think we're gonna throw him a $100 bill when we leave here because he's gonna stay and clean all this up.
Does he have to clean this up?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
This is just an amazing vehicle that way. It's fun. It's a fun vehicle. Very
I
capable.
think you're in love.
Derek's 150 is very capable. My 350 is geared for working. So this truck is very capable of working, but I'm sure they're going to invent electric trucks that just tow and haul and don't do all this crazy off-road stuff that people probably don't want to pay for. But hey, if you like this stuff and you can afford it, we haven't done the range test. We haven't done the long range winter test, which I would really love to do, have this thing for the winter. So far, I can't find anybody that can say this is not a nice vehicle. That's for sure, much as you would hate them,
Hate who?
the vehicles. electric vehicles. Everybody's mad at electric vehicles.
Yeah, I'm mad at
Everybody-
electric vehicles.
Yeah, well, I'm mad at them too. But you got to admit that's a fun thing to drive.
Yeah, it is.
You got to admit it's kind of fun. I don't think it's sustainable for a working man to have one, but we're gonna have it for months. We're gonna find out. We're gonna interview a lot more people. We're gonna get the pulse of America here, or actually pulse of Maine. Probably a little different. The pulse of America and the pulse of Maine are maybe a little different.
Little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's America 1983.
But it was a good day of testing and running around, and it was performed amazingly.
Amazingly. We spent all day in the Cybertruck with you and Sherwood. I'm about to get back in my 1987 and drive home. I feel like the initial review, the day-long review, was positive, would you say?
Yeah, very positive.
But there's still some open questions.
Still some open questions. Range. I'm gonna, repairs, parts,
Snowplow.
battery replacement, snowplow. Good amount of snowplow on that thing if you're gonna live in Maine, and 1/3 of America is affected by snowy weather, so that's
Yep.
a pretty huge population. So, yeah, there's a lot to learn
right.
about it. But
Well,
so
we're gonna-
far, it's a fun $100,000 truck.
We're going to let the testing continue. We'll check back in.
Yeah.
Patrick Feeney, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I'm back in my truck, which is a piece of junk, and I'll admit that. But I will say, it sounds cool. Listen. Whoa! See ya! So if you Google Cybertruck, the first thing that comes up are videos of people shooting the Cybertruck. So we felt morally obligated to do that. Of course, it's Maine, and we want to do it in the most organic way possible. So I just said to everybody here, if you have a gun in your truck, bring the gun. Turns out we had 4 guns in people's trucks. One's a hammerless 38, 2 are 9s, and mine is a cheap 22 that for some reason was in my truck. And so we're going to open fire on the Cybertruck and see what happens. Ready, aim, fire.